Okay, thank you. So yesterday, I was sharing with you that the class. So Trevor, you can see this also. Trevor and Baha, what you missed out yesterday. Yesterday, so this is the Google Classroom. This is my class. You can see. I can click any of the groups that you are in, and then I can see your group posts. Okay, and also what your group do. And then there's this site link. The link brings you to the 2022 P4 skills, computer thinking program skills. Now, so for Trevor, Paha, and some of us yesterday, when I say, because yesterday when we had the ALP lesson, I keep telling you, hey guys, when the instructor is sharing a skill, you have to learn and listen. And then when there's exploration time, that's when you can figure out and play with the other tools on the Scratch. Okay, then you explore all you want. But whenever the instructor is sharing a special skill, you need to be listening and trying out that particular skill. Now, that said, it means that you can access Scratch from home and also this Google site. Keep it now. So on this Google site, you can see already, there are some suggestions. For example, you click to go on to the Scratch editor, you can log into yesterday's password using your yesterday's password account. Then there's this Google First Storytelling self-help video guides. So you can watch this on your own as well. And then there are some previous year's project. That means let's say I click this. And then the schedule is also here. So our session 2 will be on 28th July. Okay. And then you can click here, our stories. And then our stories, you can see even other classes stories are here. 4E is here. So you have Hansel, Gretel, Snow White, Three Little Pigs. All this is our class, right? Try it out. Goes on a journey with Gingerbread Man. The Three Little Dinosaurs. Oreo Man. The 100 Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. Okay, very interesting. Okay, and then you get the notes. So notes, you can all these are some examples. How to learn from scratch. So if you really want to explore like what are some of the games, you can actually click this and share with you the codes. Okay, some of the special skills. Like yesterday you never listened, right? For example, how to edit the sprite color or add new, like this one, coordinates. So yesterday I was with Adriel, and then we were talking about getting the sprite to move along a path. And then like as you move along a path, it goes like to another scene in the story. So the movement along the path, we can track the coordinates here to assign the movement location. So all lot of tips are here, including yesterday, some of you tried the recording of the voices. Right? That was quite cool. Then here under animations, and then you open here, animations. Some of our group's IDs are here. So we work on our group IDs here. And more sprites and backdrops and images. So some of us may like, hey, I want to, my story have a certain particular place. These are the suggestions that are in Sprite itself. But if you want other things, let's say you want something new that is not on the site, then there are some royalty-free images for download. Library for pictures that is not beyond the Sprite that you can upload. Okay, that's it. And then there's, for example, you want to hear, yesterday I was trying to show our friends. And that's what Mrs. Tan is doing next door just now. That you can go onto the groups and then you get to see their story. So yesterday, let's say I go to this class and see Hansel, three little wolves, little pirate pigs. Okay. So I click little pirate piece, I can see all the 3 projects here. Scenes 1, 2, and 3. Oh, your brother's one. Okay, let's take a look. Let's say I click this one, scenes 1. Loading project, and I can play.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little pirate kids who knew how to perform magic. They had an enemy called the Big Bad Wolf. One night, the 3 little pigs sailed the 7 seas to learn more magic. Suddenly, the 3 little pigs saw a big ship on the horizon and knew they were in for a big battle.
So you can hear in this short scenes, there is the road, the ship that is rocking. The 3 little pigs, they are moving together with the rocking ship. They have recording of their voices, and you also hear sound effects of the water, right, moving. So all of these are all created by the students, animated. So they make the ship move, make the pigs move with the ship, make the voice go, tell the story, and also sound effects. Okay, so these are all important skills that you may need. Then some of us yesterday we also learned the speech bubble. Let's take a look. Scenes 2.
Selling a floor. Trading Pokemon cards. I did Pikachu GX to complete my deck of GX.
Okay, and scenes 3. And see, the pigs move. The change of background and scenes. And see, the kids are the pigs are moving.
Wow! The pigs wanted to trade for the Pikachu GX card, but the wolf refused.
Okay, and I go to the next scenes. Scenes 3.
The smallest little pig drew up a magical wand and shouted, Wingardium Leviosa! Suddenly, a thunderbolt came out from nowhere and struck the pig in the face. No! Big Bad Wolf, you're under arrest for stealing Pikachu GX cards.
So they had the pigs who appeared and then disappeared. So let's say if I go back to the first scene, the first scene when they are on the boat, and let's take a look at see inside to know what are some of the codes they used. Okay, that's scene 1, and I say see inside. You can see the different codes that they use. So this is pick 1, pick 2, pick 3. This say hello, and then there's this the sheep. Play sound, splash until it's done. And but then there's a forever loop. And then see this part? Can see now? It's a bit tiny here. It says wait and then turn 5 degrees, and then wait, turn anti-clockwise 5 degrees. That's how you get that motion.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little pirates.
That's how you got the motion.
Who knew how to perform magic. They had an enemy called the Big Bad Wolf. One night, the 3 little pigs.
And then you can see the backdrop. Let's say I click the backdrop here, and see the backdrop. Here, this is the backdrop. Now then, if you look at the second scenes where there was some movement, change in the backdrop. Okay, let's see inside. You can see the codes here for the pigs. Appear, wait, and hide, and appear again. And then I go to the backdrop here. See the backdrop? Switching, and then start with some sounds. Okay, then switch the backdrop again because they move from one place to another. That's how they.
Selling a floor.
So you see, it started out with this backdrop, and then it changed after that. Okay, so all these skills you require you to be able to create your story. Okay, so for Trevor and Farah, the what we missed out, this is what it looks like in the end. So you can actually go back to your Google Classroom and check out some of the ideas, the notes that's here that you can learn. Okay, and those of you who really like to do scratch, you can experience this. Now, this is really a very meaningful experience coding. If you were to attend a lesson on your own outside of school, there are some courses in some centers that actually does things like that, like STEM and coding, which costs a few $100 for each session. You did it, yeah. So, but you're in school, you get to do it and experience it for free. So really make good use of this opportunity. Okay. All right. Let's go back to where our lesson was. So we start off with our first activity for today. Let me stop sharing here. So anybody else want to hand in? Jasmine, Kevin, Nigel, Owen, and anybody still owe me the hundreds and thousands that you want to submit now? Please do your submission now. Then after that, we will be beginning our task for today. The first activity is a group work. We are doing it as a group first, and then after that, we will be sharing it together. Okay. Anybody hasn't submitted your corrections yet? Okay. Jasmine, can you erase the name off the board? The pattern. Submitted a pattern? Not yet. Okay, never mind. Next week then. It's okay. Anybody else? Okay, if that's okay, we are. Let me take a look. Everybody else is missing a table partner. I probably would like to change our seating arrangement a bit for different grouping to do the group work. Okay, let me take a quick look. Okay, for activity now, we do a group work. Let me look at how I would like to change our seating arrangement. Shalini, you can move forward to sit between teacher and Aisha, so you can work with them. Aidyn, I would like you to move forward to join. Yes, me. As well as Ayla. So Ayla, you move back to be SP. I think move forward to join them. Taylor, I want you to move to join. Adrian, I want you to join in between Daniel and Edmund. So I want you to move to okay, I think this is quite okay arrangement. So you got 3 in the group and no one is left out. Okay, now today we are going to do a new item. Sorry, we only have 2. Oh, yeah, it's okay. Rakshan and Aidyn will work together as okay. So let me share my screen here. Okay, today's thinking strategy we'll use is either of these. Okay, we have learned by now. I'm sure you're very familiar by now. I'm sure you guys CR, claim evidence reasoning, the strategy that helps you to answer a lot of science questions, right? And during symmetry, we also use this claims of evidence reasoning to help you to explain why shapes and find shapes that are symmetric to each other. Now, the other way we can look at this is using the critical thinking elements of thought circle. Okay, basically you want to look at what the information can give you that is given to you or not given to you, and find solutions to the problem, and most importantly, explain. So on the other side, I say the explanation game, because you have to find a solution to the question, and the key thing to the activity is you got to explain it and give reasons. All right? And generate alternatives. My alternatives means you need to use different methods to solve one problem. Okay? Now we are moving and advancing our learning now. We cannot be just satisfied with I can solve the question full stop. Okay? I want us, you need to be able to transfer whatever skills you have learned previously to tackle problems that are new. Okay. Pick it up now. Okay, there's one. So we are starting off with comparing ordering of decimals. To do that, I'll bring us to recall what we did for whole numbers. So if I'm going to show you our whole numbers here. If you remember, we took down already. Previously, we did a number line activity. Where is it? We did it at the foyer area, remember? And we kept it up, right? In class and also our class. So, and then when we learn about comparing and ordering big numbers, that's the first few weeks of the year. We talk about numbers that's up to 10,000 place. Whole numbers. Okay? These are the tips. How much more, how much less? Position on number line, looking at the place of digits and model drawing. So in the textbook earlier, there are these examples, and that is for comparing, ordering big numbers up to 10,000 place. Now, throughout this whole year, you'll realize that we don't only compare and order big numbers. There are several things that we do comparison, including squares and rectangles, including fractions. And fractions have a different strategy. You have to learn how to transform them, convert them to improper or mixed fractions, mixed numbers, improper fraction or mixed numbers, or you have to convert them to equivalent fractions. Do you remember all those? Now, decimals is a new identity. So we already learned decimals have a whole number part and a decimal part. Okay, so you have a whole number part and the decimal part. And they are everywhere, they are all the examples everywhere. A whole number and decimal part. And we'll come to this very soon on rounding. Previously, oh, I forgot to share a new share. So you can't see what I'm talking about. New share. Okay, so you see you have a whole number part and a decimal part. Like for example, 42 kilograms, 42.9 kilograms. So it's 42 and a bit more. So the fraction is now expressed as a decimal. Okay, right. So let's talk about today's activity. You'll be given these 4 questions as a group. Okay, there are 3 people in the group. You can choose A, B, C, D, any 3 out of these A, B, C, D. Okay, any 3 out of this A, B, C, D. But the catch is this. I'll be giving you one piece of paper, blank. If you need more, you can ask for me later. Now, on the blank piece of paper, look, everybody needs to be listening now because you will have to share as well. You will have to share as well. So you'll be there to record your voice. Okay? So you'll be given a blank piece of paper. You have to work out the solution to the problem. And each question, there are 4 questions, right? Okay? If you think your team is very strong, you can do all 4. If you think your team, okay, we go with just 3 first. 3 out of 4 questions. Also can. But the catch is this. For these 3 or 4 questions, each solution, the method used must be different. Okay? It cannot be the same method. So for example, I can do how much more or less as one of the solutions for one question. I can use the number line for one of the questions. I can use the place of the digits as one of the questions. Now, a quick reminder, now that we are looking at decimals, our place value, the map has increased to the right side as well. Remember what I'm talking about? You understand now? So we are no longer just looking at 10,000, 100 tens and ones. We are looking at tens place, hundredths place, thousands place. There is 0.000 after the ones. Can you understand that? Remember that, huh? Okay, so these are the tips. Now, model drawing may not be so favorable. So, if you look at B, if you have chosen B, then it has been specified for you to use the number line. Okay, there are 4 questions here, so you choose out of these 4 questions, do 3. If your team is strong, do all 4. And each question, you must use a different method. After you are done, you assign each one of you explain each of the questions. So if you have done 3 questions, 3 students, 1 person explains 1 question using the method that you use to solve. So if I assign position of number line to solve B, then later on I must sit over there, explain to the whole class B using the number line. Can you understand my instructions? Can you understand my instructions? Can I? Okay, so 3 of you pick 1 person to come up to get the paper. Take 1 of these, take 1 this, and 1 this. Okay? 1 this, 1 question, 1 blank paper. 1 instruction sheet, 1 blank paper, 1 question. 1 blank paper, 1 instruction sheet. All right. I want 3 different methods done by 3 different people. You have to guide them. If you tell me I do everything, that means you have failed. Understand? You have a role now. You get to guide your friends how to do it. Go now, come back. If you like, you can divide the paper into 4 parts to answer the question, or 3 parts to answer a question, or come here for more paper. So the pen paper. If you need more questions, you can come by later. Right now, I will start the timer for 15 minutes. Now, if any of the groups finishes earlier in time, then you may be allowed to take the iPads later to practice recording each other explaining before you present. Okay?
Okay, so if you are unsure how to do it, you can refer to your textbook. The textbook has several examples on how you can demonstrate. For example, more or less. For example, on the number line. Okay, many examples here. For example, using the place value mat. Okay. Does anybody have a textbook? Ayla, okay, take it out now. Thank good that Thaisa, you're using it. You can refer to your textbook. Lots of examples here. you can use the race method as well. The race method includes read, annotate. Choose the method. I give you the 4 options already. So when you annotate, I will need you to be able to explain the terms increasing and decreasing as well, all right? Those of you who don't remember increasing and decreasing. Increasing means ascending, it means getting bigger. And decreasing means going down. Decreasing, going down, getting smaller. Increasing, going up, getting bigger. Okay?
Time's up. So I'm going to do some explanation now. For example, let me just, for those of you who are not looking at the textbook, you don't have the textbook, I suggest you look up now. So this page 26. Now, if you look at this page, it explains based on number dishes, more than or less than. So for example, if you look at some examples here, the number this here represent 1.456. 1.456. So you have 1, 0.4, 0.05, and 0.06. Together, it makes 1.456. Now, if I focus on saying 0.1 more, I'm looking at the 10th place. I add 0.1 to the 10th place to see that one more is 1.556. If I focus on the pink color number dish, that is the 100th place, I'm looking at 0.01 less than 1.456 is 1.446. If I look at 0.01, 0.001 at the thousandth place, there's a green color number this. I'm looking at if I put in one additional green number this, that is representing 1,000ths. I'm talking about 1.457, and it is 0.001 more than 1.456. Now, the reasons why there are times where I choose this method. So on this page, it shows you particularly the method on how much more or how much less. There are times where this method is a preferred choice. Hey Joe, maybe later you can tell me why and when do you think I will choose option 1 as the best method. Likewise, there's another method that share. So, like the number line here, I can look at the number line, look at the position where the numbers are to see which one is a bigger decimal number and which one is a smaller decimal number. And there are more examples in your book here. Then I have another method called using the place value mat. In the place value mat, it helps you to zoom into the number places. For example, when I compare these three numbers, I focus on the bigger place value, ones place first, followed by tens place, followed by the hundreds place, and if necessary, the thousands place. I go with the bigger place value to compare. But this is tricky sometimes because if you have not compared in sequence based on the size of the place, then there's a chance you may make a mistake because you notice you forgot about the bigger places. Now that's how you got the answer here, like this. So those are the three top chosen methods. Now, again, I'm looking at this. Option 1, 2, 3, 4. These four different ways of looking at comparing and ordering. Some of these methods are more popular than another method, depending on situation. Anybody want to suggest? When do you think how much more or how much less is a preferred method? Sorry? Anybody can guess? When do you think the first method is a preferred choice? When do you think the second method is a preferred choice? When do you think the third method is a preferred choice? And when do you think model drawing is a preferred choice? Cannot answer? Now, why is this important? If you recall, if you remember, the last time we had our SA1 exam, the mid-year exam paper, one of the questions stood out, the heuristic listing question. And I showed you Howrans 1 and Edmonds 1. Both were correct answers. But Howrans did it with some longer steps. He wrote lots of things. He got it right too. But actually, on second thoughts, when he looked at it again, he realized that he actually wasted some time. Because when the question focused on looking at numbers that are bigger than a certain value, he could have omitted some digits when he's listing. But he didn't think enough, he just listed everything first. So it's important that when you know all the methods, when you look at a question, you are able to decide which method works best. If you only learn one method to do all questions, then you will not be flexible enough. Sometimes when you answer questions, you end up wasting more time than you need to solve a question, or you get stuck because you don't know how to use other ways to solve it. So, for those of you who have trouble listening, I will explain it one more time using the book. Few of us managed to get to the step of practicing explaining. I was slightly disappointed to see many people sitting there and waiting. I gave you instructions that you can get more paper and everybody can put at the same time, or you can refer to your textbook. And don't have enough students read their textbook. That is quite disappointing. Let's work on it. Okay, I'm seated at the back here. Later, somebody else will sit at my place. Okay. I'm looking at page 23. Comparing ordering numbers, decimals, not decimals, a type of numbers that has a whole number part and a decimal part, a fractional part. If I just zoom into question number 3, and I use my 3 different colors here, but that's A, B, C, D. 0.1, I refer to this column. 0.001, I refer to this column. So when I look at a number like this, 6.389, and I look at 0.1, I'm targeting this place here. And I'm looking at 0.001, I'm targeting this place here, which is the hundredths place. When I talk about 0.1 less than this, that means I'm doing the action of taking away 1 number this, there is 0.1 at the 10th place. So I will mean that at the 10th place, this digit will drop 1. At the 10th place, that's minus 0.1, and that's how I got 6.289. Conversely, if I look at 0.1 more. I'm adding a number this of 0.1 at the tens place, and that will get 0.489. If I look at C, same way, if I remove, oops, I made a mistake. How frustrating. Can anybody tell me what mistake I made? Yeah, it should be the thousandths place, but I highlighted the hundredths place. See, I made a mistake too if I'm not careful. How did I realize that? It's because when I look at the number closely again, 6.389, and then I put down 0.001. No matter I'm doing addition or subtraction of 0.001, I realized that it was actually the thousandths place. And I saw that there were 2 zeros before the 1 here. So I noticed that I made a mistake. And also because I noticed that I skipped the column here. So less than, that would mean it should drop at the thousandths place. And then for this, even though it's a thousandths place, if I add 0.001 to it, I actually have to do regrouping. And it becomes the hundredths place. Now, so looking at it this way, I can actually arrange for those of us who are quite good at this, that means you are able to arrange them 6.289, 6.388, 6.390, 6.489 in an increasing order. That means becoming bigger. Okay, that's this. If I look at a number line, for example, this here, fill in the correct decimals. Now, to help me with this, I noticed that the next decimal place is open up. So it's not just 3.7 and 3.8. I have 3.77 and 3.87 and 3.78. So I'll add a 0 to open up my second place value when I'm counting to help. 3.70, 3.80, 3.90. And the midpoint here, by now I know midpoint from the first chapter of full numbers. So I've got 3.75. And then over here, this one is 3.85. So if I mark out the name decimals, I have 3.77, which is here. 3.87, that's here. 3.78, that's here. And 3.87 is here. Okay. Now, in this question, you realize that all these are using 0.001. So if I look at 0.001 less than 3.77, I'm going this direction. Less than, so I've got 3.76. 3.87, so this is A. B, 0.01 more than 3.87. And I got 3.88. Is that correct? And then I have C, 3.78. I have 0.01 more. So I have 3.79. And then from here, 3.87. I got 3.86. If I arrange all the numbers here in decreasing order, I actually get 3.88, 3.87, 3.86, 3.79, 3.78, 3.77, 3.76. If I arrange all the numbers that are given here, 3.88, 3.87, 3.86, 3.79, 3.78, and 3.76 in decreasing order. Now, I've just explained the first two methods. I'd like you to pay attention to what are the language terms I use. Now here, what are some of the language terms I use? They got to do with, in this chapter so far, we talk about decimals in the first part. Other than comparing ordering, let's say comparing ordering, what are some of the terms that I use when I explain? More than, less than, very good. So one of the language terms I use, more than, less than. What other terms? Yes, and then tens, hundreds, thousands. So that's the place value terms. Can you understand those? So when I'm explaining, I use more than, less than, I use place value terms, and I describe the movement along the number line. Can you understand that? So later when you're explaining, I want to hear these terms coming out of your mouth. What other than that? Okay, now let us focus here. When are the times where I use more than and less than? If you pay attention, you'll realize that when I use more than, less than, I'm comparing most of the time just two numbers. Okay? Or three numbers. I'll choose more than, less than when I'm just comparing one or two numbers. And the two numbers are very similar, just at one place is changing. And you'll find me using more than, less than a lot. And the number is a lot when I go on to number patterns. You'll see using number patterns more than, less than a lot, the rule. For example, in this question, look at simpler examples. This one is simpler. If I say, what is the rule? This is page 35. For example, this one, arrange decreasing order, I will get 3.86, 3.66, oh, sorry, 4, 3.84, 3.64, 3.44, 3.24. Decreasing order, biggest to smaller, 3.84, 3.64, 3.44, 3.24. And I use subtract 0.2 for the next number. This is question 35. Page 35, question number 2. So notice that in this case, I focus just at the place that's changing. And the next moment I use, one number is actually 0.2 more than the next number. Or if it's decreasing, the next number is 0.2 less than the previous number. Can you hear what I'm saying? Can you hear what I'm saying? So in this case, I choose the first method more and less than the most easiest to use to answer this number pattern question. Can you understand? Now, but in some case, number line is preferred. For example, when I'm doing rounding. Or if you notice how I use number line just now, I chose number line for this question especially because the numbers are quite close to one another. You look at this string of numbers, they are quite close to one another. In this case, number line is very much preferred. All right. Repeat what I just said in your own words. Sorry? Number line is preferred. Why? No, that is a poor answer. I choose a method to solve the answer. Well, I gave you 4 methods just now. All 4 methods so can solve the question and get the answer. But I'm asking which method is preferred at what time? Can you tell the difference? I need you to be more than just satisfied with answering the question. So just now I also mentioned when are the times where rounding is extremely useful, where the number line is extremely useful. One of it is rounding. I repeat what I said because rounding here. I said, look at the numbers here. What happened to the numbers? They are actually quite close to one another. So I choose the number line to solve this question because the numbers are not very much different from each other. If I look at some questions, you will notice that some numbers are very different from one another, like this case. Do you think I want to draw a number line for this? Not really, because if you notice, I have numbers that goes up to the hundreds place. I got numbers at the thousands place as well. This one as well. I don't think I want to use the number line for questions like this. This one has tens place, hundreds place, and thousands place. So for F, what do you think the method I will choose for this? What did I just say? Look at these 3 numbers. 50.6, 50.06, 50.006. I wouldn't choose drawing a number line. The numbers are very far apart. I have a digit at the tens place, I have a digit at the hundreds place, I have a digit at the thousands place. I won't choose the number line. Which method will I choose to solve this? I have something at the tens place, I have something at the hundreds place and thousands place. Yes? Very good, Shalini. Is look at the place of the digits. Well done, Shalini. I'm glad you can answer. That's perfect. So you know what I'm talking about? You are able to pick the right method to help you to solve quickly. Now, then there was a method that says draw a model. When do you use to draw a model? So far, you see all this. Any model? Where do you think it will appear? Thank you very much, Zahir. You will notice that the models will appear here, like here. Can you hear what I'm saying? Like here, like here. We have two numbers. One is a bigger number, one is a smaller number. You need to compare and know which one is a bigger number. And the best way to solve this question will be using the model. I draw a number line for this, no use now. No use. Can you understand what I'm saying? So that is what I'm talking about when you focus on C. Stop being satisfied if I can finish the question. Stop. You need to be able to think and use different methods to solve the problem. Can you understand what I'm saying? Okay, now your turn. That's nice. 10 minutes. Let's get Shalini's. Rakshan, you want to go first? Sure, come, Rakshan. Bring up your paper, you will do the recording, and you share with us how you solved one of the covariant problems just now. Then we'll go down the row. Shalini's team, get ready. One person come by and explain a different problem. Take a seat. That's my test sheet. Okay, say again.
Hello.
Okay, your paper down. Say my name is. Speak.
Compare 2.307, 2.749, and 2.395. Arrange the decimals in decreasing order. First, we must look at the decimal. This is the one. This is the tens. This is the hundreds. And this is the thousands.
Yes. Yep. Good point. Please use small letters for the decimals so that you will not be confused with the big capital letters for the whole numbers places.
And this is the 10,000.
Do we need to 10,000s place? Don't really need. Never mind, carry on.
Decreasing means big to small. First, we look at the ones place. The ones place has two. So the every ones place are the same. So we need to look at the tens place. It is 3, 7, and 3. So the greatest is 2.749. So we must write 2.749 first.
Pause for what? Carry on.
Then we must look at the hundredth place. The hundredth place is 0 and 9. The biggest is 9. So the second answer is 2.395. And the third answer is 2.307.
Okay, that was his explanation for the first one. Do you think his explanation is okay? Good? Okay. Now, thank you. You can go back. You can flash your answer to everyone first. See how he presents. Okay. How he has presented his answers with the 4 different ways. Looks really good. Okay, let's invite the next group. Shalini's group, come. Thank you, Rakshan. Okay, next step.
Okay, so I'm going to explain question C. I'm going to look at the digits. So as you can see, the numbers are 3.6, 3.78, 3.56, and 3.59. So let's revise first. All of them are 3, so we can look at that first. So let's look at the text. 6 is 755. So the biggest is 7. The second biggest is 6. The rest are 5. The tens. So the first one is 4 tens. So 8 is 6. So as soon as we go, the biggest to the smallest. So the answers are 3.78, 3.78, 3.59, 3.56, and 3.6. We choose 3.6 as the last because we have no tens, we have no hundreds, and it's also the smallest one.
Is it the decreasing order or increasing order? Sorry? Decreasing. Now, is her answer correct? No. What is the problem with her explanation? It sounds sound. But what's the problem? Okay. So now, can you understand what I mean by when you use a method, you can see the way she presented, it looks tidy. It can get you, it's a good way for comparing. However, there is a problem. The problem is the mistakes are common when students look at the ones, look at this, 7, and then may miss out one place, hop on to the 100th place, and make the mistake here. So Shalini, the mistake, where's the mistake? Guys, what place is the mistake? Which place did the mistake occur? Which place did the mistake occur? At the 10th place, thank you. So at the 10th place, you realize that 3.78, it was correctly identified as the biggest number, but you missed out 3.6 as the next bigger number. Okay, because 10s are bigger. 0.1 is the bigger place compared to 0.01. So these should come before these two numbers. Before you are able to decide 3.59 and 3.56. Can you see what I mean? Okay, but good effort for Shalini. I think the explanation for Chupuni effort. Let's give her a round of applause. Can I have the next person come here? Aidyn, come here and explain one question for you. Who's gonna be next? Can I have a volunteer? 7, 13. Aidyn? That's it. Okay. Can you explain why they use a different method? Okay, you can do that.
Hello, we will use method for questioning in which I got one.
Rakshan, you're going next. You're both talking now, right? Speak louder. Okay. Aidyn, I'm going to stop you here. Thank you very much. Now, as you can see, arranging according to the place seems like one of the popular methods, right? I want somebody that has a number line come here and show the answer. Anybody else has a number line? Over here and show us. Now look, boys and girls. Yes, good. I see some representations and some that are really nicely drawn. Now, class, listen. It's very important how you are able to explain your answers out. Look, it cannot be that our class is chatty and capable of chatting and talking to each other, but when it comes to explaining problems and answering questions, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You need to practice being able to explain it. The more you do it, the more you are able to speak well of it, how I solve the question, then the more problems you are able to solve confidently. And speaking in class, you see, Shalini made a mistake just now. Was it okay that she made a mistake? Yes. And I said that before in class. It's all right to make a mistake here. And in fact, during class time is the best time to make mistakes. It's better than making mistakes during the exam, right? When you make a mistake in exam, then that's it. You got a mistake and that's about it. You can't resolve it. But if you make a mistake in class when you're explaining, it's okay. Look, you need to learn and slowly become more confident on sharing your answers with others. And it's fine to make mistakes here. Okay? Now, next week, I will book the iPads again. And you try. If you're not confident of doing it with your friends, you start doing it at home first. Okay? Start practicing how you explain, how you do the questions. Excuse me, why are you typing on this? I will tell you what page are you doing. So next week, I really want to see some confident friends sharing your answers. Can you complete 23 to 28? Is that okay? You say okay, Howard, that means I'm going to hear you able to explain for every single question you have completed. Okay? The rest of us until 28. Is that okay? Okay. Now, I really like you to go home and practice explaining your answers. Okay?